These are 10 books every realtor needs to read in 2024. But not only that, most of these you probably haven't heard of before. So I'm going to not only give you the books, and also the links to all of them in the description below. But I'm also going to explain why you need to read these books and who specifically that the book is for. What's up, guys? My name is Chris Caggiano with eXp Realty, and I've trained hundreds of agents every year, and these books are so powerful. And if you're not growing, if you're not learning, you're dying. And this is one of the easiest ways to continue to level up your business, and oftentimes a single book can be the solution to anything that you're struggling with, which is why it's so important to make reading a priority. So I'm just going to jump right in. I'm super excited about a bunch of these, and not one of them here in front of me. I've got all of the other ones kind of in my background. So I'm not gonna pull up a huge stack of 10 books, but let me break down each one of them. Okay, so the first one is 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class. One of my favorite books of all time. Is so consumable, but it is so powerful. Very, very easily read. But essentially, the author is a guy that has been the performance coach for some of the greatest athletes of all time. The best of the best. The Tom Brady's, the Kobe Bryant's, the elite. And what he does is breaks down basically 1 or 2 per page case scenarios, and he says, here's the average way of approaching things. Here's how the world class would approach this scenario. So when it comes to the mindset being the #1 reason why agents fail, despite what anybody tells you, it's not because agents have the right tips, tricks, tutorials, or strategy. It's a mindset issue. This is the best way, the best book to just browse through it. It's so easy. Again, 2 of them per page on average. So you can just rip through it, but start to get you in the perspective and shift your perspective of, are you an average or are you world class? And if you want to build momentum, you need to be world class. And it's really great to give you real examples of what the average do and what you should be doing if you want to crush. Book number 2 is really important, and it's one that I've recently read, which is Buy Back Your Time. And it's life-changing, so powerful. Essentially, what this is the concept of buying your time back, which is how to actually build a real business. You see, one of my issues personally was that I was running a email calendar management, under management, project management, managing all my different VAs, full-time employees, and all of my freelancers, and everybody, and I was sucked into doing activities that were not only below my pay grade, but also they were not my passion. And you start to lose your passion when you're in a position where you can't afford to outsource, but you don't quite know how to do it. So you feel like you're strapped for time. You don't know how to create a team or get additional support, or how to actually build a business that will run without you. This is the book you need to get. Number 3 is one by an entrepreneur that you likely follow, which is The Power of One More. This is by Ed Milet. It is really powerful because ultimately it's just the concept of doing one more of everything. Yes, he talks about being the one and the power of being, and the one that changes your family's life forever, which is really good for a mindset that you feel like giving up, or if you feel like struggling, and the one that changes your family's financial trajectory forever. But what I love is the concept of just one more. I'm saying, okay, I'm gonna call 100 people today, call one more. I'm going to give follow up with 10% people today, follow up with one more. I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to go to do 10 reps. Go do one more, do 11. I'm gonna drink 1 gallon of water, drink one more. And if you could start to get these little aspects of extra growth, it really puts you in the mindset of being an overachiever. It's really great just based on the edge, tonality, and style. I highly recommend this book because it's gonna give you the extra edge against any other agent. Number 4, which is never split the difference. Communication is the #1 skill agents need in order to build a successful business. It's the top skill in real estate or not. This is a great book because it talks about communication and strategic negotiating in terms of never split the difference when you're negotiating. This is actually how I exceeded the expectations of a lot of my past clients and got a lot of referrals in my market. Keep in mind, it was terrible. Every home was selling under list price. So let's say a home was listed for $500,000. Somebody came in with an offer at $480,000. Everybody would just say, hey, let's meet in the middle at $490. Good to go. Everybody's happy. But I wouldn't take that avenue. What I would do is understand that I want to treat other people's money like it's my own money. If I save my clients $1,500 in my city, that covers the legal fees. If I could save them an extra $2,000, that covers the moving costs. And I've never split the difference, which not only is a good practice when it comes to increasing your negotiation skills, but it's also just really a great way to impress your clients. Number 5, one of the greatest of all times. You don't achieve your goals, you achieve your habits. And ultimately, a lot of people will set out January and say, this is the year, I'm going to crush 24 deals. But if your habits are inconsistent, instant gratification is what you're looking for, you're not disciplined, and you have all these bad habits, you could say you want to do 100 deals or 2 deals. You're not going to do anything right. So at the end of the day, you really need to focus on changing your habits because your habits are the root and the foundation of your execution. So you can say, I want all these amazing things in your life, but nobody's coming to save you. And if you don't change your habits, you'll never get there. So many people say you just keep going for years and years and years, and you'll just get there. Well, if you do the wrong thing for years and years and years, you'd be exactly where you are today in a year from now. Now that's pretty much a segue into book number 6, which is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Very similar, but again, it breaks down the habits of people and so Atomic Habits is really great for changing your habits. And then this book is good about introducing the ones and knowing the ones that you need to adopt. So if you can start to change your habits, just 1 a month, you will be in a completely different place in your life. But the one thing that a lot of people are struggling with is they're not where they want to be in the business, and they start looking for the next tip, the next trick, and the next platform. From the next strategy, the next golden nugget, everything else will change completely. Book number 7 that came out pretty recently, depending upon where you're watching this, is 100 Million Leads. So Alex Tramosi, incredible, you probably follow him. I was following him back when he had like 15,000 subscribers and nobody really knew him. And he is absolutely taking the world by storm, especially in the content space now yet, 100 million offers, which is great. But one more of so people like me and that are kind of in the online marketing space, if you will. But for realtors, 100 million leads, which I have right over there. 3 Copies is an absolute amazing book because as you know, real estate is all about lead generation. And this book is all about building an effective lead generation and exploring the various avenues of how you could do so. A lot of people, especially brokers that have coaches, will tell you that there's only one way, and that's the best of generating leads. And some people, especially YouTubers, saying that YouTube is the best and only way. YouTube is great, but it's not for everybody. And there's all kinds of effective strategies, and ultimately, if you're wildly successful with any of them, you will be successful. It doesn't matter which one. There's no one right answer. The right answer is the one that you will consistently do to improve on year over year over year. But this is an incredible book, and this is a must-read because lead generation is the foundation of our entire business. But if you're not where you want to be in terms of the number of deals that you want, well, usually that's because you don't have enough leads. Book number 8. E-myth. One of the biggest concepts from this is starting with the end in mind. So if you want to build a 7-figure real estate business, you need to start at actually like a 7-figure per year realtor if you want to break 6 figures. Your income is a direct reflection of who you become as a realtor or as an entrepreneur. So if you're making $50,000 because you're a 50K realtor, and that's just the truth, not many people want to hear, but it's a fact that if you want to make $100K, you need to become the type of person that would make $100,000. And the E-Myth is really great kind of legendary book. I highly recommend. It's highly recommended based on the different stories it maps out, because it's really going to shift your mind how you need to change in order to achieve your goals and income that you like to have. Number 9, before getting into one of my favorites, but number 9 is good to great. And a lot of people are good, and a lot of people are just getting by. They do their 6 to 10 deals a year, and they're just pretty good. But some of you want to be great. You want to break 7 figures. You want to make massive impact. You want to change massive amount of lives, and you want to be recognized. Good to Great is an incredible book. You see, for example, you look at the NBA. There's really good players that are on the bench. Then there's LeBron James and Steph Curry. Massive difference between good and the great, and a lot of people want to become great, but they don't know what the difference is between good and great. So they end up falling back and settling for good. So this is really a great book that I highly recommend you read. And number 10, really full circle in a major way: Influence, Psychology, and Persuasion. This is by an author that I have met a couple of times now, Robert Cialdini, and it is an unbelievable book. So I talked about communication being the number 1 skill set that you need as a realtor, which is the truth. But to be able to influence people and persuade people psychologically, it is where you win the game. That's when you win every listing presentation, every buyer's presentation. Your leads convert higher, your nurturing sequence crash, you drip campaign like everything we do. That's where you get to the scenario where you hear people. It's like everything you touch turns to gold. You start putting videos, they do very well. You go to listing presentations, you always get it. Get every listing like is influence. That persuasion, and if you can persuade people to do whatever you want, you basically become the most powerful person in the industry. So those are the 10 books that I highly encourage you to read. But if you really want to go to the next level, check the next video where it's the habits you need to develop mapped out to build a wildly successful business. The 12 habits you need to break 7 figures a year. I've studied many agents that have broken 7 figures. They all have these 12 habits. So if you want that to be you, check the next video and get ready to change your business.